Darker ones.
All right, so if you remember from last time, we shut up. Our communications seem to be like delayed. So let's just see it happen one more time so we know where we left off, and I'm going to try to put it on the actual phone and device, so we'll see how that works. All right, so that guy's... We don't need the watch charger to do it now.
Oh. Just sync over from the phone.
All right, so we started the app on the watch, then we open up the dice roller on the phone. Oh, the label doesn't say anything yet, right? Until we click it?
Yeah.
All right, then we click add roll, and then we wait. And we wait. All right, there we go. So, and we saw last time that sending more than one message, because that is 2 messages, right? We sent a 7 and then we sent an 11. That was Haxton's suggestion that maybe after the link is established, it's fast from that point forward. So if I click back here and I message it again, we have the same delay. I think we'll see a 7-11 again, but, you know, seem to be a little quicker, but not instantaneous, right? All right, so let's try this on an actual device and see if we notice it being any better or worse or different. All right, so couple things putting it on an actual device. First of all, you have to have an Apple developer account.
Do you?
Huh?
You don't have to with iPhone with Xcode 7.1.
Are you positive?
I tested it last night.
Well, we could try this real quick. So, give me your phone, Nick. If you don't want the app on your phone, we'll do it for Beyonce. I'm sure he'll take it.
Beyonce will take it anyway.
Huh?
Don't open my pictures. I had to make a flyer for a stripper a couple days ago.
This is all recorded. You're like the worst person to sit in the front row.
At least I didn't drop the F-bomb.
This class.
All right. I just trusted my computer, by the way.
Okay.
Godspeed. Christian worldview.
Don't open my pictures.
I'm not opening anything. All right, so we're going to pretend like this. Well, actually, hold on. I
gotta hit trust. There we go.
Let's see. I have to do something
I
here.
did trust.
I get it. All right, so the issue is that my account is currently set up. I need to like log out. Let's try this. Let's just try this. Oh, you gotta log me back in. You good?
I like my finger. They like my finger.
All right. So let's just hit play. It's gonna ask me to choose what team I think the first time. All right. Let's try this again.
Can't get it in the hole.
Right. The struggle is real.
I was scared there for a second.
Unavailable devices. Actually, hold on. Maybe we run it. Did we just put it on your phone first? Let's try that. Okay, so this is what would first pop up if he tries to put it on his phone without a provisioning profile. So I'll go fix issue. Just see what happens. Now we're not going to be able to put it on my phone. This is going to be the issue. Very nice. Xcode's usually pretty good at
Can I
that.
continue on that thing in the bag that said, "Would you like to allow this computer access information on this phone?"
All right, hold on. All right, relax. So we're gonna start. What's this? Did you try to put it on yours?
No, he was talking about how the Windows problem solver thing never solves anything.
Oh, I see.
It worked once for me, and I thought, and I was like, "Where's the God?"
First worldview.
All right. Well, so here's kind of the steps for doing this, and we'll try it a little more in his, and then we'll just put it on mine. So when you go into your project up here, when you click on, in our case, Dice Roller here, you have two separate things. You have build settings for the entire project, just this, and then you have build settings for individual targets. All right. So we're going to do this at the whole project level, and down here we have code signing. So right now I have it signed for iOS developer. As opposed to, well, iOS developer should be automatic. It'll find the developer account on my project down here. Now, Abe, you're saying you don't think you have to code sign? Is that what you're suggesting?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try not code signing then. Which I think then should have updated these. Oh, didn't. So let's don't code sign anywhere. Enough. Okay. This is for the watch itself. All right, so we're not code signing anywhere. Well, you could actually just hold it.
Okay.
It's not going to hurt anything. All right, is it unlocked now?
Yep.
Signing required for product type, Watchkit extension, SDK. So apparently we do have to.
have it with the Apple Watch. You don't have. I did it last night. You don't have to do it with the iPhone.
Okay,
Possibly Apple Watch.
I gotcha. Well, then I should be able to do this then. So let's do this. Then we'll do this. I think all that stuff should be inherited, I thought.
I guess my settings do have it under, not on don't code sign, but it does have it on iOS developer, but I don't have a developer account. So
I get it.
I don't know how it works, but it works.
All right, well, here let's see if there's a way for me to sign out of my developer account on here. Probably to never sign in again. All right, is your unlocked there?
Yep. Seems to be working now.
Well, but I mean, it's putting it on your phone based on my developer account. Otherwise, it wouldn't have. It had to co-sign.
See nothing on the phone. Oh man, my watch is showing. Oh, there it is.
It's on your watch.
It says preparing to install Watchkit app.
It's already on his phone. I see the phone running. Oh, it's installing a bunch of crap here. I see.
I have a crap ton of stuff on my watch too, so it might take it a minute. Too bad it's only an 8 gig watch. wanted the 128 gig watch.
I don't think they.
No.
There's only one memory size.
I know, I wanted a bigger memory size.
I don't think you need it.
I could find a use for it. I just can't say it on recording.
I should have. Guess had Nick lick that off. All right, looks like it's just about ready.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. You don't have to have
Yeah, I didn't realize that for the phone.
something. Did you really read it?
Well, not only you tested it too, right? Or do you have a developer account? Okay. And it didn't just act like it was going to work. You actually got an app on your phone. All right. Says it's running now.
Yep, I hit the button. Oh, I just crashed.
Well, here, let's kill this. Should not be running. So go ahead and unplug the phone. All right, so now you're,
On my own.
yeah, so go ahead and try to run it. Let's do it on, that's funny. It says mine's not paired either.
Pretty buggy. Okay, let me close
Oh, it's because this is for a good reason. When I originally put it on my, sometimes this will happen if you have more than one machine. I installed it on my watch and phone from my house, which actually has a different unique identifier, so I just deleted it from my phone. I don't know if I have to delete it from the watch. That's actually an interesting question. Did that just delete it by deleting it on my phone? It looks like yes.
Yeah, it won't start on my own.
Mike's iPhone is busy installing Mike's iPhone, performing install actions. All right, so
Okay, let me try restarting my watch because it won't even open.
all right.
So you can't put anything on the watch without it. That sucks. Wait,
So now it's copying to my watch. So yours, you said it crashed when you tried to do. The button?
When I tried to open it, it just crashed.
Oh, it never opened on your watch.
So I think it opened once. But I'm restarting my watch and see if that'll fix it.
Okay, so you tried to open it twice, and now you're saying you think it opened once, but you don't remember.
No.
Okay, so there's a level of trustworthiness that we just really can't rely on at this point.
Yeah, with the app, yeah.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
just
No, I mean with you.
With these. And for anyone listening in right now, that's Vicodin or Norco,
Norco.
5 milligram dosage. Actually, do you need to remove a bunch of apps on my Apple Watch? Ow. Just wait for my watch to restart.
All right, should be on here now. I think that's it.
Why is it taking so long for my watch to restart? There you go.
Okay, so it's on my watch now, and it's running. Now let's open up the Dice Roller app and hit the button. No message yet. Just showed up, so I mean, similar delay.
Try and send a second message. See if once it's opened on the phone, if it's any faster. Does it just crash completely?
No. Still, it's working. It's thinking.
I'm still waiting on the app to open.
Still thinking. Oh, there it is. It showed up. Might even be slower. might even be slower. Okay, so at the very least, we've determined that the live device doesn't make things any better.
Yeah, I can like leak stuff right on the watch.
So let's go back here and we'll run this on our 38 millimeter. Okay, so let's look at some of the other. So remember from last time we had two different callbacks that were getting called, right? So we look at our view controller. Here's the couple of delegate methods we have. We have session did receive message. We have session, well, one of them is with a callback, right? And the other one was without. Now, I don't think we've actually messed with the callback yet. So here's a reply handler, and this sets the label. But we do not have. Let's see what other functions we have available here. All right, so we have did finish file transfer, did finish user info transfer, did receive application context, did receive message data, MS data. Did receive user info, string any object. Okay. Now let's look at the options from the other side, from the watch, how we can send it. So this was inside of main screen in our IB action. Oh, actually we did it in the segue, right? Yeah, so here's our send message. So we're sending us the 7, then we're sending the blah. Or I'm sorry, 7 and then the 11. So let's see what other things we could do with that session. So session dot. We got send message data. We have send value for key. What is this guy? Sets the property of the receiver specified by a given key to a given value. Well, here's an update application context. So we can, let's try that. So we can send basically the same kind of value, right? Call can throw, but is not marked in try. Okay, well, whatever. So it's not going to give me the optional fix to do it. What is it? So just try, trust me. So this is a try, trust me. Isn't a try, trust me like not using a try?
Good point.
All right, well, whatever. So let me comment out these guys. We're not going to send those messages anymore. We'll look at how do we do the reply here in a second, but let's just see if sending an update context happens any slower or quicker or whatever. And we're never using this right now, so we're trying to send blah 11 right now. That's from the watch. Now we'll go back here to this guy. We're going to say func session did receive, is it up here? Did receive application context. Okay, And this guy should take application context so we'll set the label. Here, except it's not message, it's application context. Like that. At the very least, let's I'm just going to do ns logs in here, or what, just prints, yeah, prints in this language. So print did receive message with reply, and then we'll do a similar print down here, did receive message, period. That way we don't overwrite the label multiple times. So we have 3 different callbacks associated with WC session. One is when the application context was sent. Another one is when a message was sent with a reply handler. Another one is when a message was sent without a reply handler. So I'm thinking that this guy right here, this reply handler, gives us the ability to send a message back. So we'll look at that here in a second, but let's see if this is any quicker. Okay. So now when we hit the button on the watch, we're going to update the update the application context, passing it this dictionary blah 11. That should then get received over here inside of this callback, and then we want to prove that these other callbacks don't get called. So is a context completely different than a message, or is a context a special version of a message? I think it's probably completely different. Otherwise, what's the difference between receiving a context and receiving a direct message without a reply handler? Those look identical to me otherwise. So hope is that the context happens more quickly. So let's see if that's the case. So we'll go ahead and launch this on the watch, and then we'll manually launch the phone app. Let's make sure it arrives first. It's certainly not real time. All right, so I don't think it's fair to say it was any faster or slower.
Try a second one though. See if. Yeah.
So then the question is what's the difference between updating the application context and updating the and just sending a message? We go back to the watch side here. We're updating application context. Well, maybe is it that it's just nice and simple?
Is the message in any object that you send?
Yeah, it's always going to be a string followed by an any object. So here's the one that, let's just move this guy. Well, actually, we'll move this guy up. Let's comment this out. So we'll send the 11 now through the send message, and we I guess we're not going to know whether those other things got called because we were printing out to the console. We didn't have control over that. We would have had to have extra labels. Although I suppose I could just concatenate onto the label, but we'll go back to that here in a second. So here's sending a message. So a message has a reply handler. So is that the only way to send a message? Session dot send message. So we can either send message data, which would allow us to send things like images and stuff like that. That's actually sending binary data to the watch, versus send message, which allows us to send string-based data. But in either case, let's see. Well, we don't get a reply handler with data, with the send message data, but we can't do that through a context. The context only allows us to send a string. So send message gives us the same ability to send the same type of thing as a context, but we also get this reply handler. So let's see if we can receive something on the back end. So maybe the rule ends up being that you use send message when you need to know it's arrived, and you use send context when you just need to let him know about something. That's the initial feeling. So here's the reply. This guy will say receive reply on watch. Oh, but we're not actually sending that back. So that's why this is never happening. Okay, so let's go here into our phone. And here's the one with the reply handler. So let's switch our update label thing over to that. Where's my label? This guy. Okay, so this guy's happening inside of the reply handler, where this guy just happens, period. Actually, they both happen just period, but we have a reply handler here, so we need to look at what that looks like. All right, so we'll just paste that in there. And this guy is now called the message, right? All right, now let's try to send a message back. So reply handler. I guess should we just set the reply woot, something like that. Oh, I'm not even doing it right. Hold on. That guy. Reply handler is a dictionary. Oh, reply handler is a function that takes in a dictionary. That's what this guy is. So that's a closure, right? That guy's a closure. So we're going to go ahead and reply with the reply woot. Okay, so they handed us a method to use. We'll use that method, passing it the function that gives us nothing back. So this method doesn't return anything, but it does give us the ability to send something in. So now on this side, instead of just printing out received reply, we should be able to get the reply. So we'll say receive reply on the watch. The reply at position the reply. That guy's actually a dictionary, right? All right. Okay, so the phone is going to set a label, then reply back. The watch will then send a message, receive the reply, and print it to the screen. And we can see that for the watch because we're connected to the watch's console here through Xcode. Since we're launching the watch, not the iPhone app. So let's go ahead and do that and prove that we can send something back. All right, let's open up the phone app. So we'll send the message. This guy should show an 11. Then this out here. Oh, it already received a message back. Hold on. That's interesting. Hold on. Very interesting.
Got a table to get the reply that quickly, but no.
Get the reply before.
Yeah, he got the reply almost instantaneously.
That's messed up, because then our thought that it was setting up the piping or whatever to like do it each time doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, let's just make sure we didn't dream that, I guess. Whatever that means.
I thought.
Actually, I'm going to click here first.
Yeah, that was.
The app isn't even open.
Wow.
All right, so it sent that app the message, right? The app's not open. Can we just open the app? It'll already be there. Oh, interesting. So the app did not have to be open. Let's try something else here.
Maybe it's like the iPhone app's like refresh rate or something.
Yeah.
Although then why would it have done it on your phone?
Actually, that's not a bad. Let me try something related to that. Okay, so add role. I already did that. Now I'm going to launch this real quick without. Okay, he was already there. It seems like maybe we would have beat it, the previous thing. So that lends me to think that maybe your.
It seemed faster when you open the app.
Yeah. So here's where I'm setting the label. I'm going to do self dot. Is it needs refresh? Self dot view dot yeah, see, it's almost like this is delayed. Here, let's see if there's a way to force a view to update. iOS SDK force UI view update. Yeah, the set needs layout is what I was looking for. Let's go back there. Self.view.set needs. Let's see, what is this?
There's a layout update here.
Let's try set needs display. Alright, so we need to launch the app now. Then we send the message. Already received the reply. Yeah, that's weird. Set needs layout. Yeah, but see, during the next update cycle. Can we, let's see if we can look at the phone side of things here. So we're going to launch the phone app instead of the watch on the 6S, so it should just give us a blank screen initially. All right, So now this guy's linked, so we should see the consoles. Just have nothing to do with. All right, so Watch is still launched here. Watch app. So if I click that, it instantly said it received the message. Okay.
Yeah, something with the layout update. Whoa.
I'm dying. Why did you do that? This application is modifying the auto layout engine from a background thread, which can lead to engine corruption and weird crashes.
Like this one.
If it literally say weird
It
crashes.
literally
it's
says
wrong.
weird crashes.
Actually, is there weird spelled wrong?
No, that's right.
No.
That's right.
I thought it's I before E except after C.
Except it's
Yeah, weird is weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
You never learned that?
I probably did. I've forgotten a whole lot of stuff that I once learned. That's an interesting thing, I guess.
Have you visited Colorado too much?
Yeah, it receives it instantly. Why wouldn't the app redraw here, though? I've never seen a delay like that. Maybe we need to force the label itself to redraw? I've written a lot of iPhone apps, and I've never seen that before. A delay in the drawing. Set needs display on the label? Let's go back to this. So now that we know the message is being received immediately, so we've answered a couple of questions here. The first question is what's the difference between send a context and send a message? Is that sending a message allows us to await a reply. Sending a context doesn't. That's just here. All right.
I don't know what to do with it.
And now we know how to reply through the callback, through the closure that they give us. So now we need to figure out why it doesn't update on the... I mean, this might not be something we need all the time for it to update, but it should be something we should be able to do if we wanted it to. Okay, so let's go. Let's see if we can just tell the label.
You should put like some sort of like output there to the console so that we can see when it gets to there. Or no, that it would receive. Never mind, because that is what we're receiving.
All right, so but do I want to run? Let's run the phone again. Okay, so there's that. Here's the watch. Already received the message, already updated the label. We're just not seeing the label yet. That is okay.
It doesn't say in there some how to fix it.
This application is modifying the auto layout engine from a background thread, which can lead to engine. Okay. Is that just because of the set needs display?
No, I was doing that before.
It did? Well, no, I mean, because I was doing it on the entire view before, not just on that label. Let's just see if that's the case. I want to know, is it from us trying to set the label, or is it from us trying to force the system to refresh? All right. Instantly receiving the message. That's happening quickly. Okay, yeah, same issue.
Is it because we're setting the label with that message directly?
It has to be something with how WC session works. So let's see. WC session update view. So WC session must happen in its own thread, which it said it happens in a background thread. So that background thread must have a lower priority in the operating system on the phone. So how do we grab the top level? Let's see. So let's look at the documentation for WC session. So clearly WC session must be running in it, well, is running in its own thread. I think that's 100% positive. Otherwise we wouldn't get that error. So what the phone does is when the phone launches and we join the session, it has this extra process that's running in the background that's constantly listening. We'll say constantly listening for communication from the watch. The issue is that that thread needs to, well, that thread is trying to update the text on the label, but that update seems to only be picked up sometimes. So whenever the transition where we're almost seeing the CPU scheduling happen in real time, where the thing is transitioning from one thread to the other, saying, oh, label's supposed to be updated, do it, and then that happens. So let's see. Managing background updates. Oh, that's receiving messages. iOS SDK updating UI view in background thread. Yeah, I wonder if we need to look at dispatch to do this asynchronously. Oh, hold on, that won't go to the main thread. See if we can get their main thread. Calling a method on the main thread. Perform, okay. Perform selector on main thread. Here's the dispatch. Oh, dispatch get main queue. Let's try something here. So it looks like we need to use the dispatch guy. Dispatch async queue. And this guy is what get. What's it called? Get dispatch get main queue. Dispatch get main queue. Then block, here's our dispatch code. Let's update the label inside that. Okay, so we'll receive the message. We immediately say we received it, but we're going to actually asynchronously talk to the main queue, tell him to update the label. And let's see if it updates immediately. Yep, that's cool.
Surprised it even worked at all.
Why is that?
Before. Like, before you weren't calling on the main thread.
Well, no, but you were just reliant on the operating system to give that thread CPU time. This is actually really cool because this is the first time I've ever used Grand Central Dispatch because I had to. Yeah, that's actually neat.
Instant.
Well, yeah, it's doing it right now.
Yeah.
So in any case, dispatch, this is how we do something asynchronously in the background. So this allows us to say, pick a specific thread that we want this to happen on. So if we want to happen on the main queue, let's see what other options we have here besides the main queue.
I saw something that said DP in it.
Dispatch.
So the reason it was so slow before was it because the second thread was getting like not.
Second thread was a second-class citizen on the CPU. It was getting time when it got time, or at the very least, it wasn't. It must be that sub-threads making modifications to the UI view are ignored or have the lowest priority. That way, you don't have 5 threads that all can have things that they can do to the screen. Threads are meant to do logic stuff in the background, but not interface stuff in the background. I guess that is a guess, but let's see.
Dispatch groupation. Just updating the specific group. Okay.
So we probably want dispatch get. What are the options? So we can get a global queue. We can get a specific context, or we can get a specific given a key. So we can probably, if we have a specific, if we have the unique identifier of a thread, we can use dispatch get specific to grab that thread and tell that thread to do something. But in this case, anytime, it seems like our rule of thumb is anytime we want to update the user interface as part of a WC session, because WC sessions happen on subthreads, we have to use dispatch to do that update on the main queue. Interesting. All right, so we'll come back on Monday. Now that we have kind of all our moving pieces, let's figure out what we're going to do with it. So plan on having a homework assignment on Monday.